Hello, my topic for today is Jungian theory of archetypes. These are my information. So, what are archetypes? According to Carl Jung, archetypes are inherited potentials that are actualized when they enter consciousness as image or manifest in a behavior on interaction with the outside world. In literary criticism, the term archetype denotes a narrative design pattern of action, character types, theme, and image, which recurs in a wide variety of work of literature, as well as in myths, dreams, and even social ritual, such as recurrent item are often claimed to be the result of element and universal patterns in the human psyche whose effective embodiment in literary work evokes profound response from the attentive reader because he or she shares the psychic archetype expressed by the author. Archetypes in literature. Archetypal literary criticism is a type of analytical theory that interprets a text by focusing on recurring myths, archetypes. In narrative, symbol, image, and characters type in literary works as an acknowledged form of literary criticism. It dates back to 1934 when classical scholar Botkin published archetypal pattern in poetry. Botkin was the first who applied Jung's theory about collective unconscious archetype and primordial image to literature, but Northrop purely theorized archetypal criticism in literary terms. For Fry, literary archetypes play an essential role in refashioning the material universe into alternative verbal universe that is humanly intelligent and viable because it is adapt to essential human needs and concerns. While Fraser's work deal with mythologies and archetypes, but archetypes in material terms, the work Carl Gustav Jung, the switchborn founder and analytical psychology is, in contrast, immaterial in its focus. Jung's work theorized about myths and archetypes in relation to unconscious an inaccessible part of mind. From Jungian perspective, myths are culturally elaborated representations of contents of the deepest recess of the human psyche, the world of archetypes. Jung's four major archetypes are well. Jung believed that there are many archetypes. He gave total 12 archetypes, but al- um, he will give most important role to the only four archetypes, and these are the he divided unconscious into three realms. That is ego that reflects the conscious mind. Second is personal unconscious, which is unique to each of us. It contains suppressed memories. And third, collective unconscious that reflects the shared memory with whole of humanity. According to Jung, ego represents the conscious mind while the personal unconscious contain memory including those that have been suppressed. Jung believed that the collective unconscious was where these archetypes exist. He suggested that these models are innate, universal, and hereditary. He suggested that these models are archetypes are unlearned and function top organize how we experience certain things. Jung, in his structure of the psyche, explained that all the most powerful idea in history go back to archetypes. Jung defines 12 primary types that symbolize basic human motivation. Each type has its own set of value, meanings, and personality traits. Also, 12 types are divided into three sets of four, namely ego, soul, and self. Jung claimed that the Jung claimed to identify many archetypes, but paid attention to only four: self, persona, shadow, and anima, animus. The other archetypes are father, mother, child, wise old man, hero, maiden, trickster, also sometimes referred as a ruler, lover, caretaker, mage, uh, and sage, king, and rebel, and jester. This is the first persona. Persona is how we present ourselves to the world. The word persona is derived from Latin word that literally means mask, but not that mask that we put. The persona represents all the different social masks that we wear among various group and situation in act to shield ego from negative images. According to Jung, persona may appear in dream and take different forms. The persona archetype allow people to adapt to the world around them and fit in with the society in which they live. However, becoming too closely identified with these archetypes can lead people to get mixed with that, and there will be no return. The shadow. The shadow is an archetype that consists of sex and life instinct. The shadow exists as a part of the unconscious mind and is composed and repressed idea, weaknesses, desire, instincts, and shortcomings. Jung suggests that the shadow can appear in dreams or vision and may take a variety of forms. It might appear as a snake, monster, demon, dragon, or some other dark, wild, or exotic figure. This archetype is described as a darker side of psyche, representing wildness, chaos, and unknown. These latent dispositions are present in all of us. Jung believed that although people are sometimes denied this element of their own psyche, instead of project it to their on to others. So the first picture is of Macbeth. He, as we know that he killed Banco, but he was a warrior. So like we think that his will be strong, but that became his shortcoming, and the shadow, the apparition or the ghost are starting to appear in front of him as only he can see. Not others are not able to see that, and that is the only shadow that apparition that only Macbeth can see. And another picture is from Hamlet, which is as we know that his father was killed by Hamlet's uncle, and now his father is coming in front of Hamlet and asking him to take revenge. But this is uh, only an imagination or illusion of Hamlet. Anima or animus. Anima is feminine image of male psyche, and animus is the male image of female psyche. The anima or animus represents the true self rather than the image we present to others, and serve as primary source of communication with the collective unconscious. He suggests that the psychological changes are as well as social influence contributed to the development of sex and gender identity. Uh, in one of the lectures of Jordan Peterson, he was simplifying the terms or the theory of these archetypes that Carl Jung gave. He said that anima is something that found in females. So, if we confront any female, that person's particular goal would not be to win but to argument, and that argument would be for sake of argument. So if you confront a anima possessed person, that then that person's will be happy to get you on the argument rather than to prove their point or to win. and the animus, which is a male who is possessed by animus, is something like a second rate or a futile emotion that Jung said that someone with someone is possessed by the futile emotion that we can call it animus. The self in Jungian psychology is a dynamic concept which has undergone numerous modifications since it was first conceptualized as one of Jungian's archetypes. You can think, as Peterson is saying, that you can think of about a self as the total of what you are now and plus the total of all those things that you could still be. So it would be as your reality plus as your potential. The self is an archetype that represents the undefined unconsciousness and consciousness of an individual. Jung often represent the self as a circle, square, or mandal. To conclude, in short, these are archetypes or Jung conceptualize our psyche as a place that it is a place that can store many such things as archetypes or personality. In many psychologists, Jung regarded that psyche is a loose collection of partially integrated personalities. These are the words. Thank you.
Okay, so first, who is asking? Okay, Sangeeta.
So my question is, what is importance of archetypals in criticism of literature?
So, Anjali, I have asked the two questions. They both are in correlation with each other. But my question is that can you find any recurrent archetype suggestive to sorrow from any literary text or film? Rather? So, do you find any archetype that is recurrently used to depict the sorrow in the movie or a literary text? And if yes, then another question is that why that particular archetype is used to express the despair of characters and situations. So why, what is there, what characteristic it holds that archetype holds to be used to depict this kind of sorrows? If yes, then why? Why this only? Why not any other? Yes, I am asking that. Do you find any archetype, recurrent used archetype to depict the sorrow in any literary text or any film?
Yes, like for instance, let's take the example of Lady Macbeth. So, as we know that first she was going to kill King, but she couldn't do it, and then Macbeth did it, and he came with blood on his hand. So, as some time passed, Lady Macbeth was having nightmare and sleepwalking, and she is constantly trying to wash his hand, and she is thinking that her hands are covered with blood. So that is showing is her sorrow that she is the reason that the king, someone like his father figure to her. He was like that. So I think that would be it.